see you there. Today we will be discussing all the aspects that make up a man's man, Tom Buchanan, from the book The Great Gatsby, written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Come, let's go take a look. We are first introduced to Tom, as Fitzgerald writes in chapter 1, page 6 of the book. The front was broken by a line of French windows, glowing now with reflected gold and wide open to the warm, windy afternoon, and Tom Buchanan in riding clothes was standing with his legs apart on the front porch. This was a way that men often used back then to assert their dominance and show that they are the head of the household. By doing this, Tom was showing Nick, who was coming to their house for the first time as a visitor, that he was the alpha male of the house. Him being in sporting clothes also shows that he was a very high class and had a lot of wealth. We can do the next bit.
Go.
If I were you, I wouldn't want to mess with this either. Our next image of Tom was given to us on page 24, still in chapter 1, as Fitzgerald explains to us that while still being married to Daisy, Tom has a mistress. This mistress is named Myrtle, and she lives with her husband Wilson in the Valley of Ashes. Having a mistress indicates that Tom is not feeling fulfilled by just a wife, and he needs to regain his masculinity every now and then, so he goes to see Myrtle, and this time he decides to take Nick with him. Arriving back at the apartment, Tom and Myrtle engage in an argument, and at the mention of Daisy's name, Tom breaks Myrtle's nose with his open palm.
Daisy, 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 Daisy!
As you can see, Tom gets a little heated here, and with his open palm single-handedly breaks Myrtle's nose. One of the next most important scenes where we can see a new aspect of Tom is in chapter 6, as they are at the party Gatsby is hosting. Here, on page 105, Fitzgerald writes, "The man bending over her is her director. Then he took them ceremoniously from group to group, Mrs. Buchanan and Mr. Buchanan. After an instant's hesitation, he added, 'The polo player.' 'Oh no,' objected Tom quickly, 'not me.' Here we see the one part of Tom that is hesitant to be dominant over these people because he is around people he does not know and of people with high fame and fortune. This is one of the first and only times we will see Tom in this book be vulnerable and uncomfortable in his surrounding situation because he knows he no longer has control, being around people with such high class. Again, on page 108, we can see just how quickly Tom's mood changes and adjusts to a situation as they arrive back home from the party, and Tom proclaims, "I'd like to know who he is and what he does," insisted Tom, "and I think I'll make a point of finding out." Becoming once again in a situation where he feels like he has full control, he now is building his anger, if you will. I don't know how to put it. From this, we can see just how quickly Tom is to change his mood as his anger and ego begin to rise again, being in a situation he now feels comfortable and confident. One of the final scenes where we see Tom at his full level of confidence is in chapter 7 on page 130, as Fitzgerald writes, "That's a good idea. I got up. Come on, Tom, nobody wants a drink. I want to know what Mr. Gatsby has to tell me." "Your wife doesn't love you," said Gatsby. "She never loved you, she loves me." "You must be crazy," exclaimed Tom automatically. Here we see that Tom has no problem telling Gatsby that he is insane. Even with all of his luxuries and wealth that he has gained over the years, he still believes that Daisy will return to him because of his masculinity and because of his wealth. As we walk through Tom's time during this book written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, we can see how his level of consistent confidence has very directly played a role to the novel and to the progression of the story. Thank you for joining me as we've looked further into Tom's life. Be spat out.